Someone's got a gift delivery. Got 3 more grapes left. No, Lightroom's for editing photographs. I've only got 1 grape left. Now I have none. I have 2 profiteroles though. Well, yeah, but NPR, if you take the photograph yourself. That Renault just cut me up. You can't see the chat that's going on. Is it really WH? Scottish internet? You're having a huge mango. Okay. Did they give a little wine when you ate them, Taipan? I see what you did there. Cassius, welcome back. Oh, it's fun. TMP staff. Eight up, 1 down, pinging through the roof. Wow. Wait, 8 up and 1 down? That's pretty weird. Why have you got a higher upload speed than you have a download speed? You gained £40, Maze. I've gained £40 in the last 2 weeks. It's a pink Renault. He's stalking me. No. The pink Renault is shotgunning me, guys. Look. And now he's driving into me like a boss. Thank you for 33 months, Cassius. How many what? How many systems are you putting on the rig? What do you mean by that, Albin? What do you mean systems? I'm still very much in 2 minds about whether to go for one beastly machine or a gaming rig and a streaming rig. Like, I can't decide which way to go on it. Like, I've run 2 machines for quite a few years now, and there are pros and cons in running 2 machines. There are things that I can't easily do with 2 machines that I could with 1, but equally, I don't know, I kind of feel like the amount of processing power you can now get, I could stream without affecting the gaming on 1 machine, I think, but I'm not 100%. Well, if I went for a gaming rig, I'd probably go for a third gen, like, I'd probably go for the Ryzen. And if I went for a single rig, I'd probably get a Threadripper. I suppose it was inevitable, wasn't it? I suppose it was inevitable. I'm not really sure why EV stopped, to be honest. You knew he'd do that. I think everybody knew he was going to do that. Jack Sims, thank you for 65 months, sir. He was going to do it at the intersection. Yep. It's a shame, really, because everybody else is being good as gold, haven't they? But there's always one, as they say. There's always one. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could get a Threadripper and try single machining it, or I could just get Ryzen and go back to a 2-machine setup. Don't do Threadripper for gaming. But I'm sure it would still cope with it, Dr. Stevie. You know? Because a lot of the games that I played, they don't really... A lot of the games that I played don't really smash the CPU, do they? Not really. You can still get probably 4.5 gigahertz out your Threadripper. I mean, you can go for like a 9900K and get 5 gigahertz, you know? Yes, you can get a bit more out of it. But the question is it still enough? Has it got enough power? And that way there's enough cores to do the rest of it. Well, yeah, the PCI lanes I'll put to good use with NVMe stuff. That's not really the issue. The issue is the CPU quick enough for the gaming? That's the real issue. And I've plenty of cores to do all the 264 encoding. But is it going to be fast enough to game on? I wouldn't say it's bad, Dr. Dre. I'd say it's not as good. Four and a half gigahertz out of Threadripper, that'd be crazy. Yeah, I'm talking custom water cool though. The 3900 runs at 3.9 to 4 on all-core turbine outputs, 150 watts, doubling amount cores to 0.5 gigahertz extra is insanity. I don't know. I don't know what we could squeeze out of it. And a Ryzen or Threadripper is going to be fine for 60 FPS gaming. Well, a Ryzen's cheaper, but doesn't have as many cores or PCI lanes on it. So if I was going to go single machine, a Threadripper would be a better choice. Yeah, Jack Sims. I mean, you know, anything's an upgrade from that. But you only get 4.5 gig on a Ryzen 3rd gen on a single core. This is why I'm still, like, not completely decided, you know? I'll let somebody else ride shotgun with that kid. Come on, we don't all have to stop. We can all keep going. We don't need to stop, guys. Just keep going. I just don't want to sit next to that guy constantly. You're torn between the Ryzen 9 3900 and the Ryzen 7 3800. Yeah. For a hardware geek, I would not recommend you to use Threadripper for gaming and streaming. So, if I want to game and stream off a single machine, what's best? You think a Ryzen could cope with? Do you think a Ryzen could cope with gaming and 264 CPU encoding? Do you think it could cope with all of that? You do that now so it can cope with it. Yeah, but a 3950X is a Threadripper, right? You tried it with an i9 on an RTX 2080 and it worked okay. Yeah, but was you using video encoding or CPU encoding? Which was you using? Oh, the 60 is the Threadripper, right. Because that's the thing, like, I don't like using NVIDIA encoding in OBS, apart from recording. Because you need a high bitrate for NVIDIA encoding to look good. Whereas if I'm streaming at 6 megabits, and I start NVIDIA encoding that, it's not going to look as good as a CPU encode. But what I don't want to do is thrash my CPU doing all the encoding and sacrifice gaming performance. Yeah, 32 gig is definitely way to go, Jack Sims. $3950 has 16 cores, 32 threads, can hit 4.7 gig on some and 4.5 on... okay, that sounds reasonable. Yeah, I have watched the Linux videos, I've also watched the Gaming Nexus videos. You know, I've watched this stuff, I'm just kind of not clear in my mind which is the best way to go for me, you know? That's changed with the new Turing architecture and video encoding. It looks like 264 medium or better in some cases. Is that on like a 20 series card then? To do that? $20 series card, right, okay. Because I've not tried a 20 series card, so I've no idea what NVIDIA encoding looks like on that at 6 megabits. Like I say, if you raise the bitrate up, NVIDIA encoding's the way to go. But lower bitrate, CPU tends to be better. But I haven't tried the new one. Vintauri, thank you for 25 months. Been AWOL for a while, but always happy to catch a stream. Thank you, sir. I stream at 6K, I don't need 7 really. Since you record and stream at the same time, you would need to run 264 and NVIDIA encoding. Will it? Are you saying the card can't cope with doing both? Can I not use a 20 series card to stream using NVIDIA encoding and record using NVIDIA encoding? Do you have to have one or the other? Usually, Glenn, yeah. I don't know where Vrome is, Baz. He keeps dying. do it if you're just saving a copy of the stream locally. Yeah, that's exactly what I do. I record the stream locally so that I can put it on YouTube at a higher bitrate. No, Jack Sims, you're definitely not going to get a CPU change. No, we know what CPUs are coming next year, Jack Sims, and they're not going to affect you. GPUs, not so sure. I'm fine, thank you, Double Decker. Must have activated the Konami code for unlimited lives. Lol. Martin Light, thank you for gifting a sub to TMP Dan. Welcome, TMP Dan. Thank you, Martin. And Dr. Stevie, welcome to the house, sir. Thank you. Vrome's not in the TMP anymore, fair enough. Yeah, he's probably gone to the event stuff now. Which is where I'll be heading after this drop, I think. You bought your Haswell, the next gen launched a month later. You bought a 1080 Ti and a 2080 Ti dropped a month later. Yeah, but you bought a 1080 Ti, Jack Sims, just before they stopped going, they pulled them from sale. So you still got a fantastic graphics card. After this drop, I'm probably going to have to switch over to the Convoy server because I don't think I'll have a chance to do another drop. I don't know, Trensin fan. If you'd have asked me would I drive on the public servers again, had the pink Renault not trolled me, I might have said yes straight away. Now I'm like, hey, Langeveld. Yes, there is mechanic. There's always one dude. And the attention-seeking child is this one. Here. The fact that 4790K is almost $300 an hour says how nice it is. Oh no, have a good day. 20 series card could record and stream at the same time if you set the recording option in OBS to use the stream encoder, so it's not running two encodes simultaneously, just saving a copy. Now the only issue with that is that it would have to record at 6 megabits, which I like to record on a higher bit rate, you know? Martin Light, having seen all the people waiting for the convoy, I can say up front a massive thank you to all the mods and TMP for all the hard work they've put in. Thank you, Martin. A lot of work does go in. A lot of people do put in a lot of time to make it happen. Is that Celador, is that an AMD GPU? The 1660? Because I'm not buying an AMD GPU. Oh, a GTX 1660. That sounds pretty old. Blimey. It's quite interesting trying to line your truck up while there's all kinds of trucks swirling around. 600 series being is just as new as a RTX 2000.
Happy anniversary, Nutter.
Not sure I understood what you mean. No, profiteroles. Didn't eat them.
Welcome back, Nutter.
Blimey. Look how many people there are, and we just had a random drive. Impressive turnout, yep. Considering. I take it we have to quit the game to do this. Welcome back, our Leaper. Right, let me, so I think the Convoy server's alive. Oh, I need to change my Discord as well, one sec. If I jump into that room. And that way somebody can jump in if he needs to. You don't even know what day it is right now, Jackson. Saturday. Hang on. I'm gonna have to start the game and then load my save game in and then quit and then start. Oh, what a faff. Hang on. Is it too late to sign up? Oh, yeah. That boat sailed a few weeks back. Right, Route 1. Let me load Route 1 in. Guys, remind me, in between Convoy 1 and Convoy 2, remind me that I've got some keys to give out. In fact, let me have a quick check now. Right, let's start TMP. Sprouting a good bit of beard. Yes, car keys, train sim fan. Actually, there were more house keys. There were keys to your house.
Can I have a key to your house?
No, the keys to train sim fan's house.
Oh, no, I don't want those keys. A good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Paul.
Good morning, Sammy.
How are you doing, young sir?
Yeah, I'm alright. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. It's been a hectic past 4 days, but we got there, and I'm here, and it's all going well, and things haven't crashed or broken yet.
You sound reasonably calm, considering.
Well, officially, the 23rd of December was our move-in day. E.g., that was the day I moved the bed to my new house.
So you're actually in the new place now?
Affirmative.
Nice. And the internet works?
Well, clearly. Otherwise, I'm using some real psychic powers right now.
You might be on 4G like Dirk, I don't know.
No, it's not quite that bad. We're okay. It's been a hectic Christmas. We had 8 for Christmas as well. So it's yeah, all good.
Right, how long before this thing times us out? Because it did that to me before.
As in from the server.
Yeah, it disconnected me while I was like starting up the stream.
It shouldn't on this server because it might be disabled. Digital might confirm that if he's listening and stalkering like he normally does.
That would be nice.
Yeah, so we're all in the process of sorting out the subs and getting them in their retrospective places. You're a bit early, my man, for a change.
Well, yeah, but there's no way I could do another delivery, so it was pointless trying.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I'm sure you can fill in your entertainment ways of, not a real job and all that.
Well, I'm just playing games.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Right, yeah, I have 3 keys for Utah and 3 keys for Black Sea. That's what I have. That's what Pavel sent me. 3 keys for Utah and 3 keys for Black Sea. In fact, what I need to do is I need to give those keys to the mods so that they can dish them out when we get winners. I'm going to be giving those keys away probably between the 1st and 2nd convoy.
So you don't need a reminder about your IP, but you might need a reminder about giveaways.
Yeah, just in case I forget, but I'm sure somebody on chat will remind me. How about 2 GPUs and 1 PC, a high-end RTX for your gaming and running one NVIDIA encode for the stream, and the other lower-level GPU running a 1650 Super, which still has the new NVIDIA encoder running your second encode for recording. That's an interesting solution, Fox's Cubs. How does that actually work in reality? Like, in OBS, do you select the other GPU and say, right, you encode with this, and then for recording, you encode with that? Do you actually select a different GPU? The only issue I foresee with that is I'm going to custom water cool the whole thing, and that would mean custom water cooling 2 GPUs, which could get messy. It's doable. You have a setting in OBS which tells it what GPU to use. But how does the image get to both? I know this sounds stupid, but one of the graphics cards has got the graphic drawing to it. Like the game is rendering to one of the cards, so it has it all in VRAM, so it can just encode it. How does it then get to the other GPU in order to encode it? How does the render get to the other GPU? It just does. Not sure about the magic behind, but it works. Do you know, Fox's Cubs, do you know of a video maybe of some guy that's done that? That kind of shows you what he did? I'd like to kind of see that in action. Probably an SLI bridge, which I definitely want to avoid. Alright. Right, I'm gonna... Just gonna put these in mod chats. There you go, mods. I have put that into the mod chat room. Let's go with that. Okay. So, without tempting fate, Steam has not updated or crashed or died. The game has not updated.
Paul,
TMP has not crashed or died. My internet's still working. What else can I throw on here?
Solar eclipse.
Twitch is not being twitchy. You've not taken ill.
Solar eclipse. My house hasn't fallen down.
A meteorite's not landed in my garden yet.
Yeah. Mars hasn't crashed into Jupiter, which has caused a chain reaction which made the sun implode. You know.
I've not had a power outage.
Yeah.
PC's not blue screened, yeah.
Cool, you're really tempted, aren't you? Like, you're so just...
To be honest, like, the last few convoys, something's gone bad, so I figure it can't get any worse. If I just tempt fate, it can't get any worse.
Well, bearing in mind, I am in a brand new location with an audio setup that I plugged together about 20 minutes ago. It's like, just don't. Like, I did plug all together yesterday, but then I turned it on today and it didn't work. And of course, in NVIDIA driver update, yay!
Yeah, I noticed the driver update. I just ignored it.
Well, I ignored it for 2 days, so I thought I'd better, you know, put it on.
I normally give it a week. The only exception was when Red Dead came out. I obviously thought to myself, it's probably updated for Red Dead.
Yeah. So... my Red Dead looked like it was going backwards after I'd moved my setup here, and it was like, oh no, what have I done? And then I updated the driver, and it seems to have fixed it. So, no idea.
Nice. There's fun. How come everybody's got a number? Nut 4, Nut 17. What's going on?
Because they've changed the prefix to nut.
I can see that. Nut 16, Nut 23 nearby. Nut 25 is in the event team. This phone guy needs a modern diesel. His engine sounds so rough. It's like so 1990s.
Yeah, it's tractor enabled, really, isn't it?
Yep. Sounds fine to you.
First time I've actually spoken to you over the festive season.
It is actually, yeah. Well, you've been very busy these last few months.
Well, what was it? We had a neighbour get together on the 22nd of December, and on the 21st of December at about 11 o'clock at night, I was still plumbing a toilet in. So, yeah, it's been that sort of week.
Yeah, but at least you had Christmas in your new home, right?
Yeah, exactly, and that was the point. It was if we can be in for Christmas, then great. But it was I'm not going to kill myself. But I got very, very close. It's very stressful. Laying 15 square meters of tiles in the bathroom didn't help, and I have officially decided that I officially hate grouting. I don't mind the tiling, even that's a bit of a pain, but grouting is just not my bag.
I don't mind it. It just always seems to take more grout than it should.
Well, it's the making a mess to have to clean it up afterwards bit that really gets me down.
The thing is I like about grouting though is it's the last bit, and when you do it, it makes the tiles really pop.
Yeah, my floor looks pretty awesome, and the shower tray is done, and the shower wall is done. It's just the white tiled wall that I've got to grout now, and it's like, me and the girlfriend have been like, shall we do that tonight? And it's like, nah. But it has been, late nights, and early mornings to sort of keep things flowing, and hosting Christmas as well. That what could have possibly gone wrong with that one, right?
Thank you, Battle Rabbit. I've got that now, thank you. A grouchy grouter. Did you put a tree in your house?
Yeah, I've got lights all the way around the outside as well.
And you must have invited the parents round, right?
Yeah.
Bet they were all excited, like, oh, Christmas in the house.
It's like, woohoo, we get to do nothing, yay!
When do we get the grandkids? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Yeah. 5 years.
Yeah, it's marriage first, isn't it?
Yes.
House, marriage, kids in that order.
Something like that, yeah. And it was, Charlotte was like, oh, what, I didn't get a ring for Christmas. No, you all did not.
His audio level's quiet, Tommy. I mean, he's set for everybody else on Discord, but he's quieter than everybody else, so I don't know. You're just quiet, aren't you?
Yeah, that makes a change. I can boost a little bit, but I don't want to obviously burst your eardrums.
He's only talking about his house anyway, nothing interesting.
Do you remember that time where all of a sudden I was like ear blisteringly blue?
Yeah,
like
don't do
loud. That. And I hadn't moved anything. How's that?
I don't know. I can hear you okay. They're complaining, not me.
Oh, okay.
Convoy starts at 4:30. I should probably change the title, shouldn't I? On Twitch, actually. Let's have a look. There we go. Change the title. Guys, how's the frame rates and stuff been today? Because I did a lot of work yesterday on I did a lot of internet testing and frame rate adjusting and stuff. How's it looking? Because we have had some issues these last few weeks. OBS is telling me it's not dropped a single packet, so I see that as being... But is that smooth when I do that? Is that like 60 FPS? It's not jerky or anything? Okay. Alright, good. Yeah, I noticed... You know, I've been having like Twitch issues and stuff. I noticed yesterday that I dug really deep into it. And I was trying to isolate what the problem was. And I did a stream test for my streaming PC, and it was dropping packets. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. So I then set up my gaming rig and streamed from that directly, and it was dropping packets. So I knew that it wasn't my PC. I knew that it was the network issue. So I went under the stairs and started ripping everything out, and the cables and the connections, and rerouting wire and stuff. And yeah. After a few hours, I ended up with a solution. I just left it streaming on a test for about 3 or 4 hours when I went out, and I came back and it hadn't dropped a packet. And then I did another test this morning before I started streaming, and it didn't drop any packets. So at the moment, it's stabilized. But I did also notice that OPS was losing some frames during the render, and I managed to get to the bottom of that as well. It was doing some really weird it was doing some really weird color space encoding via the capture card. It was pulling the image in from the gaming rig, and then it was like color transforming it. And because I was sat there going, why is my OBS idling my GPU at 30% in 3D when I'm doing nothing? And eventually got to the bottom of it. So bizarre. It's hard to judge if it's better, but the video stats look better. Nice. You're 60 FPS with 5,000 skip frames in nearly 4 hours, Bat Rabbit. Well, that's definitely not me. Because I've dropped 0 frames, and the only frames I have missed due to rendering lag are 317 out of almost 1 million. So it's definitely not anything I'm doing at my end or pushing to Twitch. It's got to be coming back from Twitch to you. So it could be Twitch, it could be your internet or your machine. Yeah, I don't know, DMC, like I say, I'm not losing anything at my end. You read up on using different GPUs for multiple encodes. You wouldn't need an SLI bridge. It transfers the image through PCIe. The thing is, it doesn't work well if you're lacking enough PCIe lanes, but a Ryzen should have enough to handle the transfer between GPUs. And if you're on all your other NVMe storage and anything else, how many PCI lanes does a Ryzen 3950 have? Because I seem to remember it didn't have that many. But I know it's PCIe 4X, isn't it? So they're definitely faster. Yeah, I know that Whiteland, but I just remember the 3950 not having that many. Yeah, 24. I thought so. I think when you get into Threadripper, that's when it goes up to like 60 or 70. So 24 lanes. I'd need one for a capture card, at least for the cameras. I'd need my NVMe drives that I'm going to put in there, and probably an SSD. Then you've got whatever the graphics cards would need, plus the one to transfer between them. A 3960 has 88. Yeah, it's annoying the way it jumps from like 24 to 88. What cameras? GoPros. The GoPros come into the Mage World capture card. That's what I'm talking about, Whiteland. I'm talking about not having... I'm talking about... This is what we've been discussing. Whether it's feasible for me to have one rig to do all of it. Yeah? I have one rig to game and stream, and the suggestion from Fox's Cubs is that I put 2 graphics cards in there, like put a 20 series in there, and then I think he said a 1650. And the 1650 would encode the game to a local recording at a higher bit rate, because I stream at 1 bit rate and I record at a higher bit rate, so that goes on YouTube high quality. So I might stream at 6 megabits and then I might record locally at, 18 or something. So the suggestion is, hey, you have 2 graphics cards, and then we started to look at how the image gets from one card to the other, and apparently it does it via PCIe. So then we're saying, well, with 24 PCIe lanes, is that enough to run my capture cards, 2 graphics cards, my NVMe, and my SSD? CPU encoding looks better. Well, Whiteland, people are saying, and I can't confirm this, but have a chat with some of the guys in chat. People are saying, have you seen the Blackmagic capture card has 4 HDMI inputs? I have 2 Mage Walls, I'm not changing them. The rock solid reliable. People are saying, Whiteland, that the 20 series NVIDIA graphics card has the new NVIDIA encoder, which will encode as well as a medium CPU encoding. I don't know how true that is. SSD does not use PCI lanes. Are you sure about that? Yeah, but Balkan, for racing, if you're just racing, right, NVIDIA encoding is fine. Because there's not really a lot changing on the screen. And, you know, if I'm racing or even flying especially, it'll be fine. It really only matters when you start playing other games, you know. The worst one ever was Farming Sim. Farming Sim with the amount of foliage, and even games like The Hunter, they really push the encoder. Convoy is good to roll shortly. I'm just waiting for the nod. Hopefully it's not kicked me. Why 2 GPUs? Well, because you can't, apparently you can't encode in 2 different bit rates on the same GPU. So what you would have to do, if you was using NVIDIA encoding for streaming and recording locally, you would need 2 GPUs. And then in OBS, you would say, stream at 6 megabits and use this GPU to do it. And then for the local recording, you would say, record locally at this bit rate using this graphics card. You can't tell it one card to record in 2 different bit rates, if that makes sense. I've never tried it, so I don't know. Yeah, I'd hope so as well, Balkan. I would hope that, in theory, I could just use a few of the cores off the Ryzen to just stream with and then tell the graphics cards to record. Yeah, that would work. You know, with a modern Ryzen, the theory is that I would have enough cores to do the encoding and not sacrifice what's going on with the game. But who knows? I need to turn off that stupid music. It's going to play the nag music all the way. If you do go AMD, you go for the X570 Ace or Aorus Master motherboard. Well, Battle Rabbit, it's probably going to be an Asus motherboard. Hey Citrus, biggest downfall of streaming Windows 10 is not being able to allocate cores better and distribute the load. Yeah, it's frustrating. They're trying to make all PCs into Xbox. I think he probably teleported as an admin. Try 2 OBS instances running with different settings before buying the setup you're talking about. I think you can run 2 OBS if you run 32-bit and 64-bit, I believe. But whether they could both capture the same image, I don't know. I literally have no clue. However, what I could do is run OBS and XSplit at the same time. And get one to record and one to stream. You waiting on me? I'm waiting on him. Who are you waiting on, Sammy?
I'm ready for you.
Well, Digital's waiting for me, and I'm waiting for you, so I want to know what you're waiting for.
I'm waiting for you.
Actually, can I go for a bio break before we start? 1 second.
Are you serious right now?
I actually am, because I've just realised I don't want to drive for 90 minutes without a bio break.
Okay.
I should have already done this. Apologies for not doing it, but I really should go and do it.
That's
BRB.
terrible.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
That was a lot of loud air horn stuff I just heard from outside.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yes, you do.
Honestly, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, I spoke to Lord Doyle and he said officially we can start.
Okay, we can start. You do realise that we're 25 minutes early?
What?
Convoy rolls out at 9. That's
4:30, mate.
Oh, okay, we're 5 minutes late. I can't remember. That was ages ago since we sent those forms out.
It's good to know that the event's organising master at the back there knows what time it starts.
I know, but we were on time, and that's all that counts. If we would have been on time, in fact, if someone hadn't gone to the toilet.
Alright, rolling out.
So, same format, we'll do a drive past, and then we'll get the convoy rolling.
Sounds good. K-Steen, thank you for almost 4 years,
as if.
You've been
You
kicked
just
from the
got
server.
kicked.
Not enable headlights while driving.
Oh, really?
Lol.
No.
Never saw that one coming. Is there a setting they can put on them? That is genius. That one I never saw. I never saw that coming. One sec. Another instance is already running. That's a lie. One sec. Hey, I tempted all the bad ones, Varak. I never tempted that one because I never saw that one.
Welcome to the Nut House.
Nighttime is due to winter. Dude. Right, if I turn that on now, that on now, that on now, do that. Hopefully we should be good to go. Scott, thank you very much for subbing, Scott. Welcome to the Net House there. Sorry about that. Yeah, write that one down, Zarek. Okay, headlights are on, confirmed. Right, I'm rolling out.
Righty-ho, then. Is your headlights on?
They are, but I've realised I've only got 500 litres of fuel. You think it's enough?
Oh, are you serious right now?
Literally, dude, I was rushing to set this up and forgot that bit.
Oh. You cannot get the staff.
Is 500 litres enough? How far is it?
It's 1,200 kilometers.
Oof. Right, what have we got here?
I think.
Dan Brown, Kingy, Mighty something, Guitar World, Shiny Shane, EV, seen that name before, Original Nutter, Shari, I think, Mrs. Frosty, Martin Light, Tom H, Ray Wolf, Gamma 10, Casper Corn. Wait, can I fit that one? Blimey. Mr. Bandida, Alan Bowen, Bodder, Wraith Dagger, Gideon Mechanic, Nightmare, Rays, Craig, is that? Sam Gamby, Merlin El Plegiato, Gravity, Stink Bomb, whoever that is. It's M Gaming Hobby Live. Daniel White. You're the Pink Rhino, not surprised. International Trucker. MJ Smoke, I think it was. Curly Messiah, Baz. Come on! Mr. Muttley, Ashwin. Mills. Lock, Snickered. Kleshnikov, James. Everest Pike. Vrome. Okay. Where are you going?
You're alright. Vrome is now going to overtake you, and then you can slip in behind Vrome again.
Alright. Take it we're going down this ramp here.
Yes.
I'm glad we were going behind Vrome because I was like, I've just got committed down this ramp. There is a command you can type to set refuel, isn't there?
Is there?
I
thought that was to fix your engine. I didn't think that was a refuel as well.
Oh, I don't know. I can't.
But it's slash fix. You can try it, I suppose.
I honestly don't know. What speed was the convoy going?
It should be 50 Ks.
There's a repair slash fix, but no refuel. So that doesn't refuel you. It just repairs, right? Time to draft Rome. Lol. Oh, it's not a command, is it? It's a... Yeah, that didn't refuel.
Yeah, Fon says it repairs the tractor unit only.
No, there is no fuel command apparently. Will it go to Finland at some point? Quite possibly. A bunch of crashes. We've had a couple of incidents over the years, but nothing catastrophic. Yeah, I might just do that, Bigfoot. I might just pull over at the fuel station on one of the moves. Although, to be honest, I'm better doing that near the end. Thing is, my other load is going to be exactly the same, so I'll need to refuel that before the second convoy. Why am I doing 50 on cruise control and I'm catching up Rome? How does that work?
Because apparently he's doing 48, not 50, because he's been told by digital to do 48.
Ah, okay. That makes more sense.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it would help if we were all on the same hymn sheet, but that's okay.
Well, I thought we were 50, and then apparently Verm has been told by the TMP overlord that is digital that it's 48.
The digital overlord, you might say.
The digital overlord, exactly. Yeah,
Dave, it's a bit harsh to be kicked though for the lights, right? Didn't see that one coming. Traffic warden, welcome back, sir. Hey, I see what you did there, Digital. Why do you only do 48Ks? Because if you want to... It's a weird thing, Nightwish, but if you add a bunch of vehicles in a convoy, if the guy at the start goes too quickly, the others will never catch up. Because it's a weird thing. It's just... It's like emergent behaviour. I can't explain it, but it's just what happens. Like, people drive slightly different speeds, you know, there'll be a junction where somebody will go quicker than somebody else, so the gaps start to be created. And if the guy at the front is going too quickly, the others will never be able to catch up. So we kind of go at a slow, steady speed because it just works better. Everybody else can stay together. Well, I don't know exactly why 48 was chosen. Probably because 55 is too close to the speed limit, maybe. Riddle me this, Sommy.
Riddle me this or riddle me that.
I'm doing 48 and Vrome's pulling away.
He's Belgian.
Okay, that explains pretty much everything.
I mean...
It just reminds me of... Do you ever watch Fawlty Towers where Prunella Scales goes, he's from Barcelona, as if like that explains everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, don't worry, he's from Barcelona. It's also where Basil's trying to speak like real big broken Spanish to Manuel, and then the other guy comes in and speaks fluent Spanish, and Manuel knows exactly what to do, you know.
Yeah. I was watching a video the other day where there was a kid who thought Belgium was in France, and his dad had to explain, no, it's a country.
Vrome prescribes to the theory that the Renault speed limit is different to the Scania's.
Well, I'm definitely doing 48 kilometers per hour. So, I don't know. What point do I need to drop back then? How many groups have we got?
6.
6. We've got a 90-minute journey, so 15 minutes with each, in theory.
Hey, that's maths and a half, isn't it? I think I need to start picking an odder number, like a 7 or a 9 or a, 6.5 or something. Yeah, every 22.5 seconds you need to move a group, yes. I don't actually know how many people we've got on the server. It'd be interesting to see what the time increment would be if you had to swap between every player.
Yeah, good luck with that. I don't know how many trucks in the convoy. At a guess, 80 something maybe. Actually, I think there's more in the second convoy. I don't know.
There's 57 people logged on.
Right.
So there's probably 50 nutters and 7 TMP guys-ish, I would say. So 50, 90 watts, just under 2 minutes per person.
Yeah, there's more in the second one than the first one.
Yeah, and there's always more in the second one, and I don't know why. Whether it's just the Americans coming online, I'm not sure.
Probably just like, I don't know, people going shopping or whatever.
Yeah. There's also the infinite possibility of getting Brett San on one of these, but like it's always 3 o'clock in the morning for him or whatever. Yeah, so Digital saying that's about right, 50 nutters. I think there was meant to be, including the people that do both routes, there was one person that didn't turn up that just did route 1, so it's about 60. I think there's about 60 for the first route and about 70 for the second route. And like I say, for those that didn't respond to the email, it was about an 80% churn of people-ish.
It's like herding cats.
Oh, yes. I've medal deserved in for me and Ken and Muttley and all those that do admin working behind the scenes. It's just like, I don't know what else you want us to do. I mean, we could like Doyle telegram you a message if that would work any more effectively.
It's a knock on the door.
Knock on the door.
Oh look, fuel.
So how has your festive season been this year then, Mr. Squirrello?
It's not been bad. A Christmas day off with the family. Just, you know, play board games and watch movies and stuff. It was good.
Yeah, we all sat down and watched a Christmas movie, and 5 of us all fell asleep.
Yeah.
Was the movie that good, or were you just all food comed?
All that, yeah, food coma, exhausted, you know.
Mr. Kilmowski, thank you very much for the 1,000 biddies. And can I just say, Kilmowski, that pretty much the hard work is done by the other guys, not me. Like, I just turn up and drive, and the reason I can turn up and drive is because of the sheer amount of work the other guys do. So they deserve the thanks, not me. It's not Christmas without the nap. I agree. I had the blessed pork crackling.
You know, Muttley and Mad Mick for doing the routes, and Ken doing the emails, and I do the forms, not Bergen. And all the other admins that lead groups. It makes it all as seamless as it can be when you're trying to herd 150 people in the space of 3 hours.
And as the Digital said, it takes about 70 to 100 hours for them to put the convoy together on their side.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
as well.
just a huge amount of work.
Yeah, so it's all just absolutely, you know, an immense amount of work that goes into it. And was it early December me and you started? We'd set the date, hadn't we, in October, and then it was December when it all kicked off, and I was in the middle of building a house. It was like, yeah, okay, right, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for your real ops Digital. How much do you reckon you spent on this then? Like 20, 30 or something? It's still a big spreadsheet. I remember seeing it. Speaking of Digital. Couple of hours on your end. Digital, mate. Make it... Come on.
Speak of the Digital.
Bump it up.
Did you say that phrase?
Bump it up, mate. Make it sound like a lot of work. It's at least 20 hours for you, isn't it? Don't play yourself down. A couple of hours. $1,000. Don't be silly. Now you're just being silly. You got to make it believable as well. Yeah, 900, yeah, that sounds about right. You don't see Digital or Matt for months at a time when they're planning. This is the thing. Like, in between each convoy, they spend almost every day, excluding Sunday, planning the next one. It's like a full-time job for them. Listen, serious, the worst key that you can take out off your keyboard is the space key. The space bar is the worst one to take off when you're driving. Because if you knock the space bar off, when you go to put the space key back on, you have to press it in. And when you press it in, you put the parking brake on. Which in TMP is bad.
I don't know. I think the left arrow was pretty drastic.
There's no good key, but a spacebar is not good either.
Yeah, that was so amusing. It was, I think I'm losing control, and then it was like, yeah, I can see where this is going.
It's H for horn, right?
Yeah, H for horn. And this one is actually H for horn. I'm not sure anymore.
Your spacebars remap to the air horn. Interesting.
Happy anniversary, matter.
Alpha
Pleased to
1.
announce that my broadband seems to be performing, at least. That's
Oh,
one
you're
main-
tempting fate now. Like for 64 months, Alpha 1?
I have given the girlfriend like explicit permission that she's not allowed to watch anything online, and she needs to use my hotspot instead.
Yeah, there's another reason to use 48 is because it keeps under a lot of speed limits. So I don't have to keep speeding up and slowing down. Yeah, but if I pull in at a fuel station, then the problem is I'll drop back like multiple groups, and that's a bad thing. I'm trying to keep my truck in a higher gear so I can not burn fuel. When I'm dropping back, I don't know.
So can we get the viewers to do a poll as to see how far you're going to get before you run out of fuel?
Well, I'm down to 360 litres.
So can you see on your dash what like your range is then?
968 kilometres, but I don't believe it.
Well, I've got 1,023 kilometers to go. And I'm at the back, obviously.
So at what point... I need to drop back a group, like now-ish, surely.
Yeah, I'd say you're about right. The next one is a Muttley.
Welcome back, matter.
What colour is he? Blue?
I have no idea, but it's Muttley and Khan is behind him, so Khan will be giving the instructions to lead a gap for you.
Do you know who's in front of Motley?
Ashwin Chip, as far as we know.
Okay. Tom H, welcome back, sir. It is Ashwin, okay. Right, so if I look out for Ashwin and then drop in behind Muttley, who'll be next. That's where I need to
you'll
be.
Gravy. Yeah, Muttley will be making himself obvious as usual.
Maze, see you later. Yeah, it's got too much lean on it. gonna pull up over here. Oh my god, I can't even read their names. There we go. There's Ashwin. That's got to be Mutters. Okay. Has somebody stopped for the railroad crossing?
Apparently. It was then being discussed, Rome got held up.
I thought this route didn't take us through any railroad crossings.
I didn't think it did either, but that was the thing that's going to go wrong. There you go, Paul, you're happy now.
Well, I genuinely don't understand because the routes have been checked and for this, so I don't get it. The red lights are flashing for me. I think the barriers are going to go down on me. Yep, barrier hype.
That's incredibly annoying.
This is a... dunno. We avoid these for this reason. Thank you, Beaker. No, there was months of planning. The routes have been checked by multiple people and that's on the list of no-nos. So I don't know how that's happened. But because that's going to keep pinging for people, isn't it?
Yeah, and it'll.
Yeah, shut it,
Bond
Beaker.
reckons they might ping the more often the people are there as well.
Rip. Mistakes were made.